Ubisoft has not been my favorite company, and they've been in a lot of trouble over the past few years, but we have a lot to discuss about Ubisoft because things just keep getting worse and worse. And I always say Ubisoft. I know I said say Ubisoft, the bad habit. I know. Comment Ubisoft in the comments. But anyway, let's just go through what's going on with Ubisoft here. The latest news that they announced is that they need to slash $200 million from their budget, and they canceled 3 more unannounced games. This is after they just canceled 4 games, including Ghost Recon Frontline, the Ghost Recon Battle Royale that they had already previously announced. And we're going to go through some of what's been going on with Ubisoft because there's a lot to unpack here. And they have, they have the Tom Clancy license, and I'm going to quickly go over how they're squandering it so bad, what's going on with each franchise. But, I mean, just to start, in the last 5 years or so from Ubisoft, let's start with the Clancy games, okay? They launched the Division 2. It didn't go over as well as the Division 1, I don't think. To my knowledge, the Division 2 isn't, like, currently doing extremely well. So they have this game, The Division Heartland, that we've all known about forever. It's time to release it, because I'm assuming it's an extraction shooter that doubles down on the Dark Zone, which is the best part of the Division, and should have major potential, but they've said almost nothing about it. It's been in testing, at least closed testing, for at least a year or more, and they just don't tell us anything about it. So, I mean, the Division should be relatively in a strong place, but it is not. Rainbow Six Siege, still doing pretty good. It's one of their bigger success stories, but the game continues to age. Eventually, they're going to have to make a new Rainbow Six game, and I don't mean Extraction, which, to my surprise, has about 30,000 concurrent players, or daily players, whatever, on Steam. It's doing pretty decent. I think Rainbow Six Extraction should not exist, in my opinion, but hey, it's doing okay, it seems. But eventually, they're going to need a new Rainbow Six game. Ghost Recon, I don't know what's going on with Ghost Recon. They announced Frontline, the Battle Royale. I thought it made a lot of sense. To have so I think there's room for a Battle Royale game that has realistic gunplay. A new Battle Royale game that kind of harkens back to PUBG, and the best part of PUBG is the realistic gunplay, right? The PUBG's got classic gunplay, some of the best ever in a shooter, in my opinion, and in many people's opinion. But they tested it, we heard it was pretty generic. They were using like hero abilities instead of just having a more gritty, realistic, hardcore Tom Clancy experience. So they eventually ended up canceling it, even though the game appeared to be close to done. That's how bad it was. They're just like, we're not releasing this because fans reacted bad, which I think was the wrong choice. But anyway, then there was the debacle and disaster with the Ghost Recon NFTs in Breakpoint, which Breakpoint didn't do all that well, to my knowledge. And then they tried to release NFTs for it. The NFTs were beyond generic. They were super overpriced. Not a good look for the Ghost Recon franchise. Okay, so then we got xDefiant, which was supposed to be a Tom Clancy game. It was announced as a Clancy game. It has a lot of former Call of Duty developers working on it. It's kind of it's like a hero shooter, kind of like an Overwatch style game. It's got like this punk rock style. I think the game really is fine in concept, but a lot of people complained it wasn't, true enough to Clancy and so on. It had Third Echelon in it. It had like all of your Tom Clancy factions in it. A faction from the Division. And so eventually, anyway, they got rid of the Clancy name on it, and now it's just called xDefiant. But they're not showing or telling us anything. And again, this is a game that appeared to be almost done when they announced it like a year ago. And still, they're not telling us anything. We don't know when it's coming out, what's going on with it. It's just crickets. And then you got Splinter Cell, which is finally coming back, which should be a good thing. But it's a remake of the first game, which is fine. Reboots are fine. They might be able to do it justice and kind of start the franchise over. However, I think that it's dead on arrival, and they're going to take a loss on it if they don't include some type of multiplayer. If they don't include whether it's Spies versus Mercs, which was great in Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory back in the day, asymmetrical multiplayer is hot. A new version could work really, really well. If it's just a single-player campaign, a Splinter Cell single-player game, I don't think that it's gonna go anywhere. Unfortunately, I'm not saying it doesn't mean it won't be a good game, but that means I don't think they're gonna make a lot of money on it, and I think it'll ultimately just mean that Splinter Cell goes back into hibernation. Again, goes into the shadows. Ha ha ha. So that's your Clancy games, right? But let's go over this other stuff. They've canceled 7 games in the past year. That's not good. That's not good at all. They've got Beyond Good and Evil 2, which has been in development for 15 years, and they say it's still in early development. This game's no closer to release than it was 5 or 10 years ago. It's been who knows what's going on with that game, but at this point, there's no possible way that it's going to live up to the expectations, hype, or be worth the amount of time and money that they've put into it. Even if it sells fairly well, there's no way they're going to recoup 15 years of development costs on a game that, as far as we know, will be single player only. And it's probably going to end up being, unfortunately, a disappointment, because the first game was amazing for its time. But there's that situation, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Then there's Skull and Bones, which just got delayed for the 6th time. It was supposed to release in 2 months. Everything we've heard is that this game is not good. It's dated. It's been in development for a long time. It feels kind of like a PS3 game or something like that. It's an okay concept, but it's been delayed 6 times. We've heard it's under par. So, I mean, maybe the delay is, good for its quality, technically. But I've heard that they've basically given up on the game being anything special, and that they were just going to push it out. Just get it done, cut your losses. But it's been delayed for a 6th time. I don't even know when it's coming out now. It's supposed to be out in 2 months. My hopes for this game are not good. There's Project Q, I think it's called, that they announced a long time ago. Well, no, leaked a long time ago. It's some weird Battle Royale, Fortnite-looking hybrid game for like 12 or 18 players, I think. Not much more to say about it. We don't know anything else about it. Whether it's been canceled or not, we really don't know. I've seen footage of it. It was leaked, though, and got deleted. So, who knows? Then there's the tragedy that was Hyperscape. In my opinion, one of the best games that Ubisoft has made in the past 5 years. It was a really fast-paced, high-energy, crazy verticality battle royale that launched very strongly, mostly thanks to paid campaigns with Twitch streamers, to be honest. Yes, I'm going to play something, Gamehead, very soon. And Hyperscape died an unfair death. Ubisoft sent it out, and then they watched it die. They let it die. It was a great quality game, in my opinion, but it just, for multiple reasons, it fell off. It was very difficult to be good at the game, which I think was part of the reason, even though that's not an insult to the quality of the game. It was a high skill ceiling game, and that pushed away a lot of casual fans. Then they've got Roller Champions, which is a roller derby game, which is, honestly, it's fine. I've played it. It's totally fine. Nobody's in love with the game. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to pop off. It's not going to make them a ton of money. It's just fine. So what's going on with Ubisoft? I've heard, there's a rumor that Jeff Grubb reported. Jeff Grubb's a very reliable gaming news journalist. He said that Ubisoft made the rounds to virtually everybody. Microsoft, Sony, who knows who else, what other companies they approached, maybe Amazon, Tencent, and tried to get acquired. They basically are like, okay, we're in over our heads. We see the writing on the wall. We've got all these teams and all these IPs. We need to sell. We need to be bought. And what Jeff Grubb said is that they got laughed at. That nobody was willing to pay the price to acquire them because everybody knows that basically things are a disaster there. Their projects are not in good shape. Their IP, the value on a lot of their IPs is down. I mean, they've got Assassin's Creed, right? I mean, that is a big one. Let's not forget about Assassin's Creed, but it's not riding a current wave But now they've got, what did they announce? Like 3 Assassin's Creed games last year or something like that. Some of them may have some promise. I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan personally. But it really strikes a question. Like, Ubisoft really has to get things figured out. They're basically squandering the Tom Clancy IPs. They're all in questionable states. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is in a questionable state. Skull and Bones is in a questionable state. They've canceled 7 games in the past year. That is nuts. And they're talking about needing to slash $200 million from their operating budget, which is a lot of money. Things aren't good there. And I just want to know from you guys, whether you're in Twitch chat right now or you're watching this later on YouTube, you know, put it in the comments. What do you actually want to see from Ubisoft? Like, what do you want to see from the next Clancy games, the next Ghost Recon, you know, from Splinter Cell, from The Division Heartland, from Rainbow Six? All these games, what are you expecting? What are you hoping for? You just think I mean, they won't go out of business, right? Eventually, somebody would likely buy them and their licenses, but I don't know, guys. It's not looking good at Ubisoft, and I'm curious what you guys think.